hope you have your snacks ready and let's get planning. Today I'm just grabbing some water. Before I can get into March, I need to mentally check out of February. This helps me reset and get an overview to say thank you for how the month served me and to learn what I should improve next month. I don't believe progress is a linear trajectory. Some months have slower growth and even setbacks, but it's a normal part of the process. It doesn't mean we're failing, we only fail when we give up. These are the thoughts that have been on my mind since I learned this month that we damage our own self-esteem when we don't meet the expectations we have for ourselves. This month, I decided to split my blessings into 2 categories: things I'm grateful for and things that really help to push me towards my goals. I think it's so important to highlight the good stuff, or only noticing your shortfalls can lead to a downward spiral. Honestly, writing out my personal blocks is pretty painful. It means I have to actually acknowledge my bad habits and stare the reality of them face on. But doing this makes me more aware of them, so I can identify and avoid them. In February, I struggled with distraction a lot, and there's a great book I recommend called Indistractable if you relate to this problem. To check in with my goals, I separated them into their relevant categories. This might seem like too many goals, but there's a lot to do in a balanced life, so I'm still trying to find my way around a system that will work. To review what didn't get done in the month, I wrote it out like a reflection and answered more the question of why things didn't get done, and then very swiftly moved on to my favorite part, checking out. If you don't have time for a full month review, I would recommend just answering these 3 questions. What did you do well this month? What do you need to start doing? What do you need to stop doing? The Life Balance Rating is a quick visual guide to see where your focus has been that month. I don't think you can realistically get them all to 7, but it's good to focus on some things one month and other things the next. On to my March opening spread. I'm using Procreate for my hex codes and designs. I fell in love with this color palette for March because it's so vibrant, in contrast to my February spreads, which were very calm colors. Once I've added my colors for the month, I like to bring them to the second row, so every month my planner colors are in the same place. I keep the hex codes on the side, so when I'm making text boxes or updating my highlighters, they're quickly accessible. Back in Procreate, I want to create my cover image. I'm using Steph's sketch brush, which came in the Procreate All-Star pack. I think it was a bonus pack in December 2020, and I'll have it linked below. I don't want to give the illusion that I knew what I wanted immediately. I messed around a bit earlier and came up with this design. The quote I choose every month is like a guide for me to focus my mindset. This month I chose plant now, harvest later to remind myself that putting in the work now will be worth it later. I'm also just obsessed with the metaphor of planting, as you can tell, because the channel is called The Bloom Project. It's such a beautiful and gentle way to think about growth as opposed to the hustle culture. I opened up Goodnotes to reference the serifs. I mean, I could just use the text tool, but where's the fun in that? I used layers a lot to help me get the placement, sizing, and rotation that I wanted. Then I went in to create a 2-color drop shadow on the layer below. There are other ways to do this, but this felt natural and fun. For the flowers, I really just scribbled some circles, lines, and loopy shapes. This is sped up, but I also did it very quickly to get some interesting organic shapes. I felt like they needed to be more purple, so I just did these dots that make no sense but create a visual harmony if you don't overthink it. I filled up some awkward spaces with some small flowers and stars and added a backdrop to my orange square. I just wanted to show the complete fail of my first attempt, which was giving off serious SpongeBob vibes. Then my rough version, which might actually be better than this neater recreation. I usually put all my layers into a group, duplicate it, and flatten the duplicated group onto one layer, so I have an unmerged copy of it if I want to move things around again. I like to add my goals onto the spread so I have a reason to come back and look at it throughout the month. To make these colored shapes, use the text tool, press enter a few times and select text box style, advance, background color, and then you can adjust their width as much as you want. For some reason I jumped to the month title. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so this is just me winging it. It's meant to look like gathered lavender, which is something my niece always used to bring for me from the garden. but really it's just some scribbles. Heading back to my goals, I categorized them and added 2 to 3 goals for each area of life. Then I decided to be complicated for no good reason and added a backdrop to my boxes in the off-white. Objects layer according to the order they're pasted in, so to put something behind, you first cut and paste the object that you want to be on top, and then place the other object behind. And that's the final result. To start off the month, I have to copy important days from my quarterly plan. Thankfully, the hyperlinks make this very quick to navigate. The flowers I created are really easy to replicate within the app, so just using the same colors and steps, I recreate these flowers and add a few pops of color. I'm also still in love with my art clipboard tracker from last month, so I use it again and make a short practical to-do list that I can add to and drag and drop tasks onto the month calendar. The next spread is my trackers, and I just wanted to show you how last month had filled out. Some inputs I loved were the Hunger Girls webcomic by GDB, which I found through Tumblr. I binged the Hunger Game books and the Jane the Virgin series. I also really enjoyed Aziz Ansari's Nightclub Comedian. Some outputs for the month were some drawing sketches, quick studies, and some commission pieces. Some of my favorite insights from last month. Downtime is essential for creating energy for the work that needs to get done. Everything you worried about either didn't happen or made you stronger. Back to this month, I just added some quick doodles and highlighter colors to match this month's theme. I categorized my inputs and outputs. My outputs are kind of goal-based, so I want to create 30 studies, so these little buckets will show my progress. And maybe psychologically compel me to keep going, we'll see. After a few more doodles, I'm indicating the weeks on my health tracker. Onto our weekly spread. I decided to get bold with my color use and add these big block shapes. The only thing is, I won't be able to easily edit or move any handwriting on top of it, so we'll see if I actually end up regretting this. For the dates, I made a circle shape and manually colored it in. Since I won't be able to edit my handwriting in the green box, I wrote it outside and then moved it only once I was happy with it. To finish off, some doodles, and when in doubt, highlight. For my habit tracker, I wanted to show you how I fill it in. I use the highlighter in large if I've completed the task, then the smaller size if I did only a little bit of the full task. And if I forget whether I did it or not, or for some reason it wasn't possible that day, I use a line to indicate not applicable. And if I have no excuse for missing it, a big empty circle of shame. To finish off, I filled in some widgets and stickers, including the sleep tracker since I need to get into a better routine. Here's the final flip through. Let me know how your March planning has been. I hope it's a productive month, even if that just means rest and taking things slow. See you next time, goal getter.